I feel like these 2 episodes are really Grounder-centric, which I like.
Yes.
I'm a pretty big fan of the Grounders, actually.
I am too.
I wish in a weird way that they were real.
I really don't think you actually want that.
I want to join them.
You'd sleep in like huts and stuff, and eat bugs, or you hunt your own
We have
food.
yet to see them eat a bug.
You'd have to hunt your own food. Do you like hunting? I don't know if you do, so...
I'm a pretty good shot with a BB gun.
But are you okay with shooting something dead and then skinning it and gutting it and eating it? So I live in bliss and don't see that and just eat it.
That's true. We could have like a system where I shoot the things but don't have to skin it.
Okay. So you're the hunter and someone else is like the butcher and chef.
Yes.
Okay.
I could even be the chef. It's just the entrails and...
You cannot be a Native American.
No.
Which is good because you're not.
I'm very much not. But I
that
could
is not
be
in
a
your
Grounder.
blood.
I could be a Grounder if they agreed to my system.
Because of these 2 episodes, not only do we know more about Lincoln, we actually meet another Grounder in the second episode of the 2. But I love who we're gonna meet.
I know. And okay, so let's start with Lincoln. First of all, we are finally allowed to use his name.
Lincoln.
Lincoln is the Grounder that...
Even though we spoiled that last podcast, but we don't care.
Yeah. But now it's not a spoiler to call him Lincoln. Lincoln and Octavia. They have such a beautiful bond. Like, he talks to her.
Brittany squeals. She gushes about Linktavia.
I was thinking about it the other day. They might be in, like, my top 5 OTPs.
Of all time?
Yeah.
This is surprising.
I know.
I did not know this.
We'll see how things progress, because I'm not sure where they're going to go in season 3. But for now, like, just with what their relationship is, from first creepy stare from the dark on Lincoln's part into the camp onto Octavia to where they are now, I just really like that relationship.
Interesting.
Yeah, whether they're being friends or honeys.
I would not have...
They're friends for like a whole episode.
I would not have guessed top 5.
Yeah. Well, it's just, okay, because it's a relationship built on, like, mutual respect, and, like, they're both warriors and strong people, and they've got each other's backs. I don't know.
Well, no, those are reasons.
Yeah. They're just like...
You don't even need reasons to ship. You ship what you ship.
It's true, but, like, I have reasons. I have reasons why they're in, like, my top 5. And, like, just how he's willing to open up to her even after her people tortured her. He's still willing to be like, he sees that she was very against that and did what she could to stop it, and lets her clean his hand wound like
Was that
Jesus.
this episode or last episode?
I think it was kind of like both.
Okay. Because definitely in this episode when everyone's high, and we'll get to why they're high, they take a step further and she releases Lincoln into the wild. Basically away from the
free, my Grounder man!
That's basically what happened with not those words.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine Octavia saying that.
No, that was too happy for Octavia.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine.
That's episode 1, Octavia.
Yes. And even then it's a stretch. She would have had to be baked, as it were.
She would have been baked, and I think it would have been about a butterfly.
Yep. Free my earth butterfly that glows. Oh, but yeah.
He's free. So yeah, everyone's high because they're eating these...
Yeah, they find these delicious and edible nuts, which I think is just cannabis in nut form.
Hey, who knows what has happened to the earth in the past 50 years.
It's true.
It can happen.
Things get irradiated.
Wait, I think it's more than
brain
cannabis because they have
norepinephrine.
hallucinations and they're not just...
It's more than cannabis?
Cannabis doesn't give you hallucinations, right? They just make you like, chill, man.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Probably. So maybe it's some weird combination of like...
I've never had cannabis, folks. I don't know what happens.
I don't have enough experience with drugs. This is just what I know from like Breaking Bad and Orange is the New Black. But maybe it was like, does LSD make you hallucinate?
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe it was a combination, some earth irradiated combination of cannabis and LSD.
There we go.
Yeah, we figured
That's
it
what
out.
happened.
So these kids are tripping on this nut that is a combination of the 420 weed and I mean, the members of the camp have really adorable moments, like Jasper with his grounder stick.
Oh, Octavia, because Jasper's freaking out when he's high.
Because he's like, the grounders are coming, the grounders are coming.
So Octavia's just like, here's a grounder stick. No grounder can see you with this stick.
As long as you don't move from this spot. And I'm like, oh, Octavia, that's such like a babysitter thing to do.
I think she was acting as babysitter in this moment.
A little bit. Or a lot of it.
A lot of it. Mm-hmm. And then we see later, we don't know the context for this at all, but some random grounder who, I don't even know, not grounder, sky person, delinquent child, I don't know if we ever get a name for him. He's just hugging Raven. It was like, tell me again.
She's like comforting him, just...
Wait, what's the quote?
It's like, you are the broomiest broom in all the broom closets. And he just looks so... thankful and relieved that she affirmed him in his broominess.
It was cute. That should happen more often.
It really should. They should just have.
And you can tell because that's not a Raven thing either. But she's just like pat on the back. Okay.
It's like she is also not high, and then Finn's in the background, just like emptying the nuts onto the fire, just like, what is happening? Why is this happening?
They were the weird. Like, I don't think Octavia was being responsible to be responsible in this episode. Finn and Raven were being responsible in this episode.
Yeah. Octavia was being responsible in a way that would help her free Lincoln, yes. So, but then Finn and Raven were like, they're like the parents.
Yes.
Octavia's the babysitter who doesn't actually care. Mm-hmm. Finn and Raven are the parents who are like, guys, I'm gonna burn your weed, LSD.
Don't burn weed.
Okay, so we know it's definitely not a weed type thing. It has to be ingested. Okay. Because they didn't get high from burning it.
This is true.
Okay,
it's ingested.
We are learning more about post-apocalyptic Earth.
Okay, so while that's going on at the camp, Clarke and Bellamy are going to find... Jaha told them there's a place to get guns and... Well, not... They find guns, but there's a place to get like clothing and other supplies they need.
Things to survive the winter and exposure. See, that's what I would struggle with in this world, is the winter. I would go south.
You would, from the skin of the animal you just killed, that would be your and they're in New England, so they're cold.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway, much like Michigan in April.
It's sunny, but it's not cold. It's a lie. And it snowed yesterday, right?
Yeah, it did. I got a sunburn this weekend, and I got snowed on yesterday. It's Michigan for you.
Ridiculous.
So maybe we'd be well prepared for this universe, but...
Maybe we understand stuff.
Yep. But anyway, so the kids are trying to prepare for exposure, and so they go to this place that Jaha told them to find, because they're good little children like that. Mm-hmm. Delinquents, gotta love them. And... they also have been consuming the nuts.
And they both see two different hallucinations.
Very different. And they're not like silly, like grounder sticks or brooms. They're actually like legitimate.
Subconscious, this is what I'm dealing with in my heart and life.
So angsty.
Angst. They're so angsty.
Angst.
Well,
they are teenagers.
Bellamy is past puberty. He is 23.
Bellamy's 23?
Yeah.
Dude, what?
Yeah.
I thought he was like 19 or something.
23!
Where do we find out that he's 23?
Either it happened in the show or it's just on the Bellamy Blake 100 wiki page. It's definitely on the wiki page. I don't know if they got that from the show somehow.
Okay.
But he was old enough to study to be a guard, get kicked out of the guard, and be a janitor for a while.
That's true. And I guess he was pretty old when Octavia was born. Like, old enough to know...
or something, yeah.
Old enough to know some Roman history and then name his baby sister after it, so... Okay, that makes sense.
But Clarke has got the teenage angst.
Yeah, because she's 17 at this point, right?
17 or 18, I'm not sure which one. She would be almost 18.
Yeah. So, actually, any episode now, she'll be 18.
Yeah.
So now that we've established the ages of our characters...
They're high and hallucinating.
They're so high. And so Bellamy's is very interesting because he's basically like haunted by Jaha and the 300 people that volunteered to be floated.
But they wouldn't have needed to float it if, Bellamy didn't steal the radio. Yeah. So he's getting
Is it like survivor's angst? Survivor's guilt? Not really, because it's not like he survived it.
No.
I don't know if there's a word for it.
It's just guilt.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, I feel bad for him because, again, he didn't know. He was just trying to get rid of the radio so that they wouldn't kill him for trying to kill Jaha.
They didn't know. But, and you know I love Bellamy. I'm a little bit in love with Bellamy. We'll say, though, yes, he didn't know people were about to kill 300 people. Did he know that? No. But he does know that destroying the radio leaves little possibility of the Ark ever coming down, which means all those kids are never going to reunite with their parents.
That's true.
They may not get supplies to, survive on the ground. So it's not like...
That's true.
Bad things were going to happen without the radio. Anyway.
True.
He just didn't know the extent of how bad.
That's true. And maybe he didn't know how quickly. Because I think by this point, Clarke had told them that the Ark was running out of life support. So he was not thinking very forward.
No.
But it's okay. We love him. He, by this point, has almost completed his...
This episode
his
helps
first
more.
arc.
Yeah. This episode is kind of the end of his redemption. And the fact that he's not striving for it anymore. It's here at the end of it. It's here, and he's going to be pretty good and steady for the rest of the time.
Yeah. He's faced his guilt quite literally in the face of his hallucinations. Yeah. He is a really good person.
Yeah. He is. He is. He just decided he needed a new set of rules for on the ground for not in a bad thing. It was to save his sister. But it was kind of the means justify the ends.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens to other people as long as my sister is safe. Which you're like, oh, you do that for your sister and yourself. That's so cute.
Yeah.
But that's it's
only siblings on the show.
Yeah, but then it's but at the same time, Bellamy, there's other people. You gotta think about them. Come on.
Yeah, if the human race has any hope of surviving here.
Yeah. But his core is good.
His core is very good.
Just needs someone to knock it.
Yeah. And I almost feel like the hallucination is it's kind of the final pebble on the tipping scale to show you that he is actually a good person.
Yes.
Because up to this point, you could just be like, oh, well, he's, jonesing for Clarke, so he's trying to, be good to impress her. I don't know. Frankly, I like Bellamy, so I don't know what excuses people might make. But I could see how up to that point, they'd be like, oh, he's not actually a good person. I don't really trust him. I feel like he's going to go back to episode 1. But then this is just he feels legitimate remorse, and he's a good person.
He is a good person. And I think the last episode 6 also helped with that, the flashback episode.
Yeah, definitely. But this, again, was just the final pebble that leaves no doubt in your mind. And actually, props to the writers for having such a complete redemption arc without seeming forced in just 8 episodes.
No, that did work.
I'm gonna say that's actually I feel like most shows and most writers couldn't and haven't done that very well.
Which is good because, frankly, even if you don't ship them, I think everyone agrees the best part of the show is their dynamic and relationship between Clarke and Bellamy.
Yes.
However you see them. And it's at the beginning, it's oh, haha, you guys are going to be enemies. But after a couple episodes, you're just oh my gosh, just get along. Yeah. So if they drug out his redemption storyline, it was still battling him and Clarke, I would have been come on now. Really? Yeah. So I'm glad it's over now. We're done.
And actually, one of my favorite Clarke and Bellamy moments happens at the end of this episode because, as we mentioned, they find a huge cache of guns in this place where Jaha had sent them. And, they had been kind of discussing what to do with them, and they had a really adorable moment where he was teaching her how to shoot.
Which I find funny because he missed Jaha's heart. So I'm really? You're trying to teach her how to shoot, you're a bad aim.
And then, and his gun kept jamming and whatever. It was quite comical, actually. But then at the end, they have this moment where they come and they're back at the camp and they put all the guns on the ground in front of the camp and they're like, hey, these are guns. They're not toys. And they're just, the two of them are so in sync about how to handle the situation.
They've agreed that they're going to train people because they need to defend themselves. And so they're both just these guns are good. Let's train them. Let's work together to help our people. And it's...
Exactly. Let's be honest. If they were running in 2016, they would get my vote.
They're a little bit young. They're not 35.
They're not 30. Well, I think the actor who plays Bellamy is.
I don't think he's at 35 yet.
Okay, just kidding. Never mind. We'll bend the rules.
He's around 30.
We'll bend the rules.
Okay.
Yeah, to get them elected, or no, to get them electable, our platform will be whatever the hell we want. And then we'll change it to cohesive leadership.
At this episode right now, who would you have as president and vice?
Oh, no.
I mean, I know my answer, but...
I don't know. This is a really hard question. I would have Bellamy as president, probably.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, because I think you and I have discussed this before. You've said that...
It's just a quote by Jason Rothenberg that says, Bellamy inspires the masses and Clarke inspires Bellamy.
Yeah.
And could this change a little bit in season 2? We'll get to that when we get to season 2. But as of right now, Clarke isn't so much about, like, leading everyone. It's just doing what she thinks is smart and right thing for everyone. It's not like, hey, everyone, let's do this. Like, she's not addressing everyone. She's addressing, like, 3 people to do what she wants. Whereas Bellamy's, like, everyone. Whereas,
listen up!
Yeah, so I think it'd be president for Bellamy to instruct people and be the voice, but Clarke's there being like, Bellamy, you need to do this. Mm-hmm. This is the right way, Bellamy. This one right here, Bellamy.
It's true. Yeah. And I feel like, too, that gives Clarke has a lot more maneuverability of, like, going and finding out what needs to be done outside of their normal routine. Yeah. So very much a vice president and president role that they kind of already have. But Clarke, 2016.
Yeah. Even though the actresses and actors are Australian. Everyone's Australian on this show.
Wait, I thought the actress was New Zealand.
Eliza?
Yeah.
Australian.
I know nothing.
Bob is Australian.
Okay.
Alicia is Australian, and Anya's, whose name I cannot pronounce, is Australian.
Okay.
So I'm just like...
So let's all just move to Australia. Let's move to New England like 140 years from now.
Okay. So, yeah, Clarke's hallucinating as well.
Yeah, and hers was quite touching because, as we all know, she's been doing some serious grudge holding against her mother.
Which, I mean, kind of rightfully... I don't blame her. Rightfully so.
Yeah, I was going to say, your mother gets your father killed and then lies to you about it,
And letting you be mad at your best friend for a while.
I would be quite angry. And so her hallucination is actually in her cell in the skyblock, and her father's there.
Yeah.
And he's like, forgive your mother, Clarke. And she's like, no, I miss you. And that's pretty much it, actually. It's quite touching.
It is really touching, and it's good because I don't think she needs to unload this on someone that knows her mother, and no one right now knows her mother. Yeah. Because Wells is dead.
Yeah.
But there's also an interesting, you and I talked about this, is she also, not just her mother, she also talked about her dad, how she's feeling so much pressure to be able to, like, lead people, and she doesn't think she can do it, all this kind of stuff. And I remember being like, this isn't season 2, Clarke. You're not really... Are people really looking to you to lead? Are they really right now? Really? Yeah. And like, are you just thrusting this upon yourself right now?
And I think that's it. It's like, no one's like, OMG, Clarke, what are we gonna do? She's just kind of like, guys, this is what we need to do. And so she's like subconsciously asserting herself into that role. And I think she sees it as like, without her, they would all die. Which valid.
Maybe they would. I don't know.
I think they would.
If this was the first couple episodes and Bellamy was still being douchey weird, people would be killing each other.
Oh, yeah. Dude, half of them would be dead. Yeah. And also a lot more people on the Ark would be dead. Just a lot of death. So much death. So, yeah.
Did anything happen on the Ark this episode?
I think a lot more happens next episode. I think, in this one we get a cute moment with Kane and his mother, I think. Or was that
next episode? Because bomb.
Well, in the next one is the bomb, but this one they have the cute moment where she's like, where they're at the memorial for the 300 people who were floated.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say, evil blonde politician is on the council.
Yes. And apparently she and the guardsmen have been behind the plot to kill Jaha.
Yes.
Because they also talked to another delinquent via Skype. And it's like, hey, I don't remember actually what the reasoning is. I don't know if it's a pardon or helping someone else, but whatever. They kind of blackmailed him into killing Bellamy because Bellamy has information about who hired Bellamy to shoot Jaha.
Yeah.
So they're trying to eliminate that.
Her.
They got rid of the kid though. Clarke and Bellamy took him down. Mainly Clarke, I think.
Yeah, I think so. With the guns. Also, can we just talk about when her hallucination first starts? Like, she's bending the gun and the nozzle goes at her face. Stresses me out. Don't do that. I don't care if you were raised in space. You should know better than to...
End of show.
End of my ballot for 2016.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't have even run. They wouldn't have had a chance to run. She'd been dead.
Bellamy's inspiration would have shot herself in the face. What are you doing, Clarke? What are you doing? Okay, anyway, but then she shoots the murderous delinquent, and it's like, all right.
And then Bellamy and Clarke have a moment against a tree.
It is.
Which is cute. And I know we've talked a lot about Bellamy and Clarke in this episode. I'm going to continue that. I'm sorry, people.
They have a lot of moments.
And I know the writers keep being like, we didn't intend this to be a thing, and they're not a thing. And I'm just like, okay. And I know everyone's just like, boys and girls can be friends, and the two leads don't automatically have to get together. No, they don't. It is possible to write it and not do that. The show so far has not been doing it right, though. Because I'm sorry, if you watch this, you think they're going to get together. The chemistry there, the smiles, and you're like, oh, friendship. No.
Yeah, and I remember when I first started watching the show, this episode, episode 8, Day Trip, is where I first was like, okay, I think this is going to be a ship, and I support it.
Yeah, because it's shippy. The writers, I'm sorry, you did not do your job well on this.
Well, don't ever criticize the 100 writers, because they
do
great work.
Not do this well.
Don't listen to her.
Because it is possible you guys didn't do it right.
Well, okay, and here's the thing, too. Sometimes you just can't help it if your actors have a natural chemistry. Like, I know I say this all the time. If I had not read the books, I would ship Harry and Hermione so hard because Dan and Emma they just go together so well. And so sometimes it just can't be helped. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, either way, I mean, whether you ship Bellarke or whether you just ballot them, that's what I'm gonna call it.
Ballot them?
Yeah, whether you just support.
Clarke's still alive. She did not shoot herself.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. And so from here on out, ballot means to bro TP.
That is a thing.
Yeah. So whether you ship them or bro TP them, meaning you just ship them as friends or co-leaders or whatever, or ballot them. It doesn't really matter which one you support. Like, there's evidence to support it either way. There's nothing explicitly romantic going on, but also there's a lot of subtext and chemistry going on between the actors. So there's that. Depends on if they're endgame or not. Because if they end up being endgame, it's like Olicity.
That wasn't supposed to be either, though.
Things change, and people are very happy with season 3, episode 20.
You were very happy.
That
was the first thing she said to me when we saw each other today.
It finally happened! So Arrow has been, purposefully or not, building this up for almost 3 full seasons now. And they gave the fans a scene that... I don't know, it's not like, wait, did it just happen? What? It was like they gave the fans their ship. Full sails.
It was no longer subtext. It was a thing. Exactly. It hadn't been subtext for the whole season, though.
No, because they did go on a date earlier in the season, but...
And Fully Oliver was very upfront about his feelings.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just flirting and sparks and chemistry, it was...
I love you, but I can't be with you. Emo!
So it was canon, it just wasn't...
Yeah.
Forever canon.
Yeah. Rachel and Finn are canon. I'm trying to bring it back to the 100.
You mean Clarke and Finn?
I meant Raven. Raven and Finn. Okay. Did I say Rachel?
Yeah. So many Finns, and I don't like either of them. Raven and Finn.
Raven and Finn are canon.
They're just happening right now. That's just a thing.
Bellamy and Clarke have chemistry, whether you see that as romantic or platonic. It's a really great episode, actually. Just a lot of
high.
growth. Everyone's high. Lincoln is free.
Freedom.
So, yeah.
We ready for Unity Day?
I'm ready for Unity Day.
So the kids have traded getting high for getting drunk.
Woo! Boozing up. Gotta love Jasper and Monty.
With their illegal substances.
Right. I feel like Jasper would be Secretary of State and Monty would be the treasurer.
Do we trust, after this episode, Jasper as Secretary of State?
I'm gonna be totally... I mean, he's not like the military commander after the...
No, but he has to... I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna regret saying this. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think just by what Secretary of State does, that foreign policy and with other countries, right now looks to be Finn or Octavia.
Okay.
Okay.
I
can't believe I put Finn in that. But from this episode...
So I would say, actually, Finn, because Octavia would have to be like the UN representative.
Okay.
Because she's the one who's willing to actually go out and be a part of the other culture.
Okay.
So what would Jasper be? Maybe Jasper would be like the PR guy.
Who is...
No.
He's smart and knows science and stuff. Who's Kathleen Sebelius' role in the government right now? She's like head of education stuff.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
They're appointed by the president. I don't know what the thing was called, but something to do with education.
But Jasper does, as we learn in this episode. This episode was very strange because I get mad at Jasper and I liked Finn.
Yep.
Finn actually does good things in this episode. He catches Octavia sneaking out to meet Lincoln in his cave, his grounder man cave, and they man cave, and they couple cave.
I guess now it is.
And yeah, so Finn sees Octavia go, and Linktavia becomes an official ship, and then Finn finds them and is like, Grounder! And Octavia's like, stop it. And I should do summaries. I should write reviews of this is what happened. But anyway, so long story short, Finn and Lincoln kind of make peace and set up a meeting of the minds, as it were.
Yes. With Clarke and Anya! We meet Anya! I love Anya.
Anya's wonderful. She's really is.
She just comes in riding on that bridge on a horse, and her her soldier people part the ways for her, and it's like a boss. And it's great.
And all the Sky kids are like, horses! And she's just like, I am a leader. Bow to me.
As you should.
Quite. But yeah, so while Finn and Lincoln and Octavia are making peace, everyone else at camp is getting wasted off of some moonshine that Monty and Jasper cooked up. And
Clarke does get wasted for a bit before she goes meet people.
Yeah, she's
and
good.
And Finn cockblocked her. I'm fairly certain the blonde dude was going to get it.
Yeah, because she was flirting, and she's really good at quarters, and who knew?
Then Finn came and cockblocked. Sorry for blonde dude and Clarke.
And he did. The blonde kid did kind of do did that just happen? Mm-hmm. And you're like, sorry, buddy.
Sorry.
Not your fault.
She was probably going to.
For other things. And speaking, Clarke likes to give me a little bit of stressful moments, apparently, in these episodes, because, when Finn comes to get her, I'm like, she's going to go to a peace talk completely smashed.
I know.
This cannot go well. And in fairness, she had no way of knowing that was going to happen. But also, that's just not a state of mind you want to be in. No. So many lessons. Don't point guns at your faces, and don't get wasted for important
conversations. And then go to a peace talk.
Anyway.
And thankfully we have now the distrust between Finn and Clarke has been going on for a couple episodes now since Raven came.
Yep.
This is definitely, I think, the episode where she went behind Finn's back and Finn's trusting her.
Yep.
Because told Bellamy, hey, we're about to do this peace talk, bring guns. And Bellamy's like, I thought, what? Finn said no guns. She's like, yeah, but bring guns anyways. Yeah. Just chill out. Just behind us, please.
Just in case. And I think their choice of gunmen was very, very stupid, but I think the idea of bringing backup, that was smart.
That was smart. And, the Grounders did it too, so it was equal. Yeah, Bellamy takes Raven, who Raven and Jasper were having a kind of cute moment, by the way.
They really were. I was like, oh, you're friends.
Be friends. That's adorable, because Raven's trying to do something with the gunpowder from all the bad bullets.
She's looking at the bullets from the guns, and
And since Jasper
determining
has...
the good ones from the duds.
Since she has, like, the engineering background, Jasper has the chemistry background, they're just kind of talking about what to do with it and what was the bad. And it was just kind of like, oh, friends, you be friends.
It's like, yeah.
But yeah, Bellamy comes and takes Raven and Jasper as the weaponized backup. So yeah, they go to meet Anya, and Anya's just so cool.
Yeah.
It's not going super well. They keep blaming each other, Clarke and Anya. Clarke does back up a little bit.
I was going to say, Clarke, I think, has a lot more tact in that peace talk than Anya did, because Anya was describing something that had happened. I think it was how, like, when the Flares broke up and returned, they ruined a village.
Yeah.
And Clarke was willing to, like, I think her exact quote was like, okay, I see your point. So, like, Clarke was willing to give some of, like, okay, so yeah, we did kind of screw some things up for you. But Anya was just like, invaders must die.
All of them die. Which, by the way, I don't mean this shippy. If you ship it, you go ahead and ship. You have a right to ship anything you want to ship. But I love Anya and Clarke's on-screen chemistry.
Yes.
Because it's adversarial, but at the same time, you're still like, you guys, like, I feel like you didn't kill each other, but I want you to team up and work together.
Right?
At the same, like, it's a weird chemistry. I'm just like, I want all the things from you two.
It's true, though. It's true. Yeah. But yeah, so it was an interesting peace talk. I did love how Octavia and Lincoln were like, they met on the bridge. They did the running hug.
She squealed during the running hug.
I did. I'm such a girl sometimes.
And then Jasper, doing his whipped little self, super emo, saw it and it was
Poor Jasper. Like, when he saw that, it's like, you only see his face for like a frame. But it's just like, he's heartbroken. He's a little wounded puppy.
You see the moment his heart cut in two.
Whatcha?
Right before Bellamy was about to shoot Lincoln.
I was going to say, dude, Bellamy had Lincoln in his sights. If Raven hadn't have been there, like, I think my ship would have been sunk. Oh, just so stressful.
Speaking of the Raven and Bellamy, they had the cute, Grounder Princess looks ticked. Yeah. Our princess has that effect. That was just cute. That whole thing is just cute, and I just love anything to do with Bellamy, Raven, and Clarke. Even though Clarke wasn't physically with them, it was about Clarke, and they were discussing. It's just cute. It's all cute. It was cute,
and they were being like her backup, and and I don't mean that in like a backup dancer way. I mean they were being her backup partner. Oh, can we imagine Clarke Griffin? What's her middle name? I feel like
Princess Griffin.
Yes. Okay. So can you imagine Van Andel Arena, Clarke Princess Griffin, sold out. This is like the 90s. Everyone's going wild, and then in full like Beyonce unitard style are Bellamy and Raven standing behind her, just like dancing,
jazz hands.
At some point, they bust out the time warp or something.
Thinking, once more with feeling, when Buffy starts to dance, and then Giles goes,
she needs backup.
Tara, Anya, she needs backup.
On it. And then they start dancing. Look at me, I'm dancing crazy. So, I meant it in a partner way, but now I don't. But yeah, and so they're using their scopes, and Jasper sees in the trees that
Grounders brought their backup.
Yep, and Jasper forgets that they're doing the same thing. Each party brought backup to a place where they promised there would be no backup.
And yeah, and his thing was like, Octavia saved you. And it's just like, they didn't even shoot Jasper.
Jasper shot first, and this isn't in a cool, like Hans shot first kind of way. This is like...
He saw and shot. That was it.
Yeah. He saw and panicked, and then later was like, duh, what? Why aren't you kissing me in gratitude, Octavia?
Which maybe they would have shot Clarke. Maybe they wouldn't. But they didn't.
Yeah.
At that, what we know of, they did not.
Yeah. And, I mean, granted, the peace talk was not going well. No. Anya did not seem like she was anywhere near backing down. But again, we never know where that would have gone. And frankly, I mean, I think from what we know of Grounder culture, the fact that Lincoln got her there to discuss peace, I mean, I think there was hope to reach a treaty.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they would have gone there just to be like, we're going to kill you all.
Also, I think it takes a lot to impress Anya. So I think if Clarke would have just succumbed right away, being like, we will do whatever you want, I think Anya would have been like, really? Like, this is your leader? Really?
Like a comic, we're like, wow, that was easy. All right. While you're at it, give me all the blood of your firstborn children.
Yes, please.
Wait, you're all firstborn children.
Except for Octavia.
And then Octavia can go live with Lincoln and be a grounder. Oh my gosh, what if that was their plan all along?
Just to steal Octavia?
Well, yeah, you must shed the blood of all the firstborn. Octavia, you're all ours! Yeah, what's up?
We're going to integrate you into our society quicker than 2 seasons.
And we're going to do it by murdering your brother and everyone that you've ever known.
Yay!
Devious little grounders, aren't they?
Apparently, this is the plan all along.
Clearly. So maybe it sounds like Jasper really did.
You saved the day, Jasper.
Well, actually, because Jasper was saying that he saved Octavia, so if that was the real plan, he saved everyone but Octavia.
So Octavia would have been safe in the original plan.
Jasper! Jasper. But, yeah, you know what? It is what it is. He's a twitchy little fella who was imprisoned for doing drugs and who brewed booze. And then they brought him to a gun show and he twitched. It happens. And we'll never know if peace could have been made. We'll never know if they intended to shoot Clarke. What we do know is Jasper shot first. And they all had to go running back to camp.
Yes.
And armed up.
So, yep, I don't think the grounders are going to be happy.
Nope.
Nope.
Fair to say.
Ready to talk about the arc?
Yeah. I really hate that blonde politician.
Well, she dies.
She does. She does.
So,
and that's actually, because basically she hijacks the Exodus ship.
After blowing up a bomb, by the way.
Yeah.
And killing 6 people?
6 people, yeah, because they're celebrating. And Kane's mother!
That was so sad.
Not okay.
So sad.
I mean, I know why it had to happen, because we know from previous episodes that she, brought out Kane's humanity, but now that he's kind of coming to a critical point in his redemption part, he needs to have that humanity all on his own, and so, there's really not a need for his mother anymore. But jeez!
That was so sad.
That was so sad. And, I feel like it was especially sad because the bomb was planted by a worker person, and she, I feel like she was part of that community.
I get the feeling
her son was chancellor in chief or second in command, but
I think we're supposed to get he's definitely one of those people that somehow defy their class odds and just work their way up to the top out of some
miracle.
Yeah.
Whereas she's still there. And so I'm just you've got to be kidding me. It was so sad.
Although a start of something did happen from the very sad moment, there's just Abby and Kane respect. I kind of respect you as a dude now, and I'm very sorry for what this happened. And Kane acknowledging Abby's respect and acknowledgement of sadness.
Yes, they're
and how Bellamy and Clarke had their we're gonna work as a team, we're gonna respect each other, and we're gonna do stuff. A few episodes ago, this was, I think, Kane and Abby's, we work better together than apart. Let's just talk things through. Let's be a team instead of adversarial. Yep. That was kind of this moment, the start of it. That continues on throughout the series so far. Yeah. Maybe a little hiccup here and there, but...
Yeah. And it's... it's good. It's a very good scene. And it was unspoken. Yes. I love the ones that are unspoken because it's I feel so cool for being able to read your eyes.
Good acting there. Eyes.
Well done, Zoe Morgan.
Zoe Morgan is so cool. Look her up.
Zoe Morgan and Desmond.
Poor Penny.
Poor Penny. Not Penny's boat.
It's so sad.
Tell you what, the ship he's on is not Penny's boat.
That is not Penny's boat.
Nope. He's up in space. But yeah, so then crazy blonde, I don't know her name, but...
Diana.
Diana. Okay. Crazy blonde lady, Diana, politician, hijacks the ship and leaves the Ark powerless, and then the Exodus ship crashes on Earth.
And we're meant to believe we didn't see Abby escape it, so...
Yeah, because, they're trying to get the blast doors open, because if the blast doors are open, the Exodus ship won't launch. And Abby's in there, and they're just give us Abby. And she's like, no. And
we need a doctor, so...
Yeah, exactly. And then the next thing you know, it's launched.
And Clarke sees it crash and explode.
And she, as we all, believes her mother to be on it.
Is she or isn't she? Who knows?
We'll never know until the next episode.
Yep.
And it's a really touching moment, a painful moment, because
She hasn't forgiven her mother yet. So
yeah,
it's kind of...
despite her hallucination with her father in the previous episode. And she also hasn't had a chance to forgive her. And even if she, like, her mind had changed from that hallucination, like, she hadn't had a chance to communicate that to her mother. And it's just kind of a rough gig, knowing that the last of your family died thinking that you hated them. Poor Betty.
Sorry, Clarke. Sorry, Abby.
But also maybe this is why you don't hold grudges.
No. Forgive and forget. Because you all are about to be killed by grounders or spaceships or something, so might as well just forget the hate.
It's true. It's true. Just gotta work together.
Anything else?
And I know I talked to you about this a little bit because I was texting you reactions to weird things. But we had talked about in our last episode how the 4 main characters, Bellamy, Clarke, Wells, and Octavia, 4 main characters from the books, were named after sci-fi authors.
Yes.
And I was kind of like, I was really interested to see if the characters on the show correlated at all to the writing styles and psychologies, themes of the sci-fi writers.
Yeah.
And so I started that project. I started with Octavia Butler. I really hope you know what character she corresponds to.
I don't. Tell me.
I don't know.
Is it maybe Octavia?
It's either that or Murphy.
The Murphy makes sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes a lot of sense.
A lot of sense.
So much. But I read a book of her short stories called Blood Child. Just because those were easy to get through in a week. And it's what my library had. And actually I found that, like, all those short stories, the narrators, I was like, oh my gosh, this is Octavia. Because in that collection, pretty much all the stories are centered around humans and some type of alien life force. And then the narrator is kind of caught in between, being a bridge between the two communities. And in one of the ones that I read, and I was telling you about this, like, that was literally the narrator's job, was humans would get hired by aliens to do work in the alien communities, and so her job was to prepare them for that experience. And it was just like, Octavia!
It's a very Octavia thing.
It's so Octavia, yeah.
Yeah.
And even to the point where in another one, it was like a host-parasite relationship where in order to help maintain peace, the aliens would implant their larvae into humans. This is the one where she was like, I wanted to explore male pregnancy, and it was real weird.
That's so weird.
It's this short story is actually called Blood Child, so avoid it or read it however you think about male pregnancy in a sci-fi.
Just getting flashbacks to really awkward Harry and Snape male pregnancy fics.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, people.
Don't do it. But, like, still an interesting concept of using gestation and childbirth as a way to ensure that there's no fighting, because to fight against one would be to fight against yourselves. I mean, I think, especially in season 2, Octavia takes on more of that role.
Yes.
Right now, she's more of that bridge where it's like, she's loving Lincoln and learning their culture. I had to slip that in, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
But she's learning the culture and she's explaining hers to the grounders, and then in season 2, she takes on kind of that more integrated role. But yeah, so far, 1 for 1, there's a really, really good correlation between Octavia Blake and Octavia Butler. So, and actually, like, Octavia Butler's a really good writer, so I'd recommend
look her up.
But I think that was the only other thing I had to nerd out about. Next I'll be talking about Bellamy. Got to do the siblings together, yo.
I want to see how you feel about that, because I've been told, I don't know if I haven't read the 100 books, so I'm not sure, but I've been told that they gave a lot of Bellamy book traits to Finn.
Oh, no.
So I'm interested to see
no.
how this actually...
My life is destroyed. I love Bellamy so much.
I know.
And other than Unity Day, Finn is really annoying. But in Unity Day, he does a good job. He brings them together.
Good job, Finn.
Good job, Finn. Savor this moment. Good job, Finn. I like seeing how literature corresponds to other modes of
Especially
entertainment.
with the name relations.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but I know Edward Bellamy is known for one book, and so I have that book. I think it's called like Doomsday or something. Don't quote me on that.
Okay, that's also a movie.
All right, good to know. Again, don't quote me on that. That's going to be so wrong. I think that was it, though.
So we're signing off.
Signing off. Grinders!